Let's spin together Revit tip number 14, OnboxApp. Now, OnboxApp, it's a free Revit plugin. If you're a structural engineer, it's definitely worth checking out. Looks like it could save you time. It got brought up to me by somebody in the comments. I took a look at it. Pretty cool. I noticed most of the videos were not in English, so I decided to just make one. That said, there's plenty of documentation for it, written documentation in English and Portuguese. So here I'm on their website. I'm going to switch this over to English. And here we could see documentation, sample files, which I'm actually using, and their source code. So when you go to the documentation, it's pretty good documentation. It has images, describes it very in detail. So pretty easy to learn on your own. So let's just jump right into the tools. I'll show you at the end of the video how to get it. So the first one we're going to check out, it's going to be renumber grids. So if you look here, my vertical grids, right, I have numbers, and my horizontal grids, I currently have letters. So let's say if I really quickly wanted to just change that, we can use this tool, flip this, pay attention to my vertical grids, which are currently numbers. I'm going to hit apply. And now they just changed to letters, and my horizontals changed to numbers. So pretty cool. And we'll just change it back again. They also have renumber parking spaces, beams, and columns, work similar to grid, so we're just going to skip that. Another cool one, create beams. So let me switch over to a 3D view here. Let's say I'm going to model some walls really quick. And let's just zoom in on them. So here I can specify the width and the height of the beam. So I'm just going to pick a thick one. And then if I press OK, basically it's going to go through all these levels and it will add beams to my walls. So if I do that, you can see I added one at the bottom and at the top. We'll undo that one. Then they have here beams from walls. This is more manual, but it works similar. So here I'm going to select this. We can expand some options. And you could select the lower beam or upper beam. We'll stick with the upper beam. And then for the width, we'll do a fixed width here. Again, I'll go with 100. And this is a cool option. So I can join it with walls or I cannot. So let's say first I'm going to join it. Click create. Escape out. Now here, right, we could see that this beam and this wall, they're joined. They're automatically added it there. If I delete this beam, the wall goes all the way to the top now instead of the bottom of the beam. Again, we can uncheck this and then do it that way. And here we could see that the wall is shooting through the beam. Now let's model some columns. And let's fire up the beams from columns tool. Here we can expand more options. For width, we could first select the column, second, or fixed width. We'll do fixed width. I'm just going to type in 60 here. We'll leave the height the same. So then we're going to click create. And then you just kind of click your columns and it'll place the beams there. So we'll do that again. So pretty cool. We'll skip columns from a CAD for now. Join elements. It says here, joins structural and non-structural elements. Pretty self-explanatory. The one I want to show you is actually, I really like the surface by point cloud and slope grading by pads. So let's just switch over to a point cloud that I have here. All right, so this is a point cloud. If we zoom in, it takes a second to load. The computer is not the best while recording, but you can see that that's a point cloud. So I'm just going to zoom out of it. And there it is. So we can click surface by point cloud and then just select the point cloud. Click generate topo surface. And there's our topo surface under the point cloud. So what I'm going to do is just select both, filter. We're going to uncheck the topography. And we're just going to temporarily hide it. So I'm going to do HH. And let's change this to shaded. So if you zoom in here, this is pretty cool. It actually converted the point cloud to a Revit topography. And then another cool feature. So let's go to our massing and site, do a building pad, and we'll make a huge one. And let's place it on the second level, and we'll offset it 10 feet. So there's our building pad. Now we're going to click OnboxApp, and then we're going to click Slope Grading by Pads. And then select our building pad. So now if you look around, it created a nice grading around our pad, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that's kind of it for these. Now, how to get this, you just go to their website, and I'll provide all the links in a YouTube description, but you just switch this over again to English, then scroll down here, click on the source code. This will bring you to their GitHub page. Now, the only thing is, this repository, it only supports Revit 2019 to 2024. So if you're looking for Revit 2025 and 2026, you can actually go to letsbimtogether.com. Once you get to here, you can click my GitHub icon, and that'll bring you to my GitHub page. Then click repositories, scroll down, and then I made a fork of this repository, and I just basically quickly upgraded it to Revit 25 and 26. I didn't get all the way completed with upgrading it, so here if you read about it, it tells you which tools I didn't get to. So I basically wasn't able to test columns from CAD and Revit Zip. So if you look at this, they likely do not work. Let me just get a snipping tool out. So then here, it's going to be this button here and this guy. I was not able to test them, so I'm not sure if they do work or not. But all of this looks like it does work. So yeah, if you're a structural engineer, definitely check it out. Looks pretty cool to me, and looks like it could save you time. Again, I'll post all the links in the description. You can go to the official repository here, or if you're looking for the Revit 25 and 26 version with two of the buttons not tested, which likely don't work, then you can go to this repository here, and then just download file is this link here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you on the next Revit tip.